Is a day where most people still have off of school. And I know people have their kids home right now. I know my kids are home today, so it's a little more of a hectic day than usual. But it is the fourth call in our Coach University. So a couple of things that I want to make sure that I focus on is really truly ending the month strong. And also what to do if you yourself don't have the Success Club points that you were anticipating that you would have by this point in the month, because I do know from checking the report right now that there's a lot, right? There are a lot of people that are like, I'm just not where I want to be right now. And so we're going to talk about that, right? We're going to have a good conversation about that right now. And I am also, hang on one second, I'm going to manage my participants because there are some people that are not muted. Okay. And I also want to tell you this, and this is like all honesty. You have more than a week, right? You have 8 days until the end of the month. You can hit Success Club. If you're sitting at 0 right now, there is no way that you will not leave on the 30th without hitting Success Club. I mean, if you sit down and actually do the work, you will have no problem getting there at all. 3 people is it. That's all you need is 3 people, and it is not hard. This is what we do, and I'll just and you guys agree with me if this is what you're doing. We psych ourselves out, right? We overthink inviting people. We don't invite. We do everything else. We search on social media looking for ideas of what to post. We watch coach training videos. We add some new followers. We make a post. We do our workout. We document what we're doing, right? And then we never actually pull out that business activity tracker and go down through and check off the boxes. And so what I find is people that are just managing their business or just watching videos aren't hitting the goals. And a lot of times it really does come from confidence. Like it stems from, are people going to want to buy this? Do I think it's worth the price? And then I got to be willing to talk to a lot of people in order to get there. So we're going to kind of break that down today, because I want you to know it is totally possible. So a couple of things that we're going to do. We're going to talk about who we're going to invite. We are going to talk about how to run sort of a flash sale if it comes down to the last 24 hours and you don't have people yet. We're only going to pull that out if we need it. We are going to talk a little bit about inviting and what that actually looks like. And then we're going to kick it off today with saying, what is it that I'm inviting to? So when I'm going through this process, guys, of getting my group started, I want you to say to yourself, what am I actually inviting to? And a lot of times, we're afraid to sort of put a date out there because it's like, well, what if I fail? And what if I don't get anybody? All right. Well, what happens is if you don't give yourself a deadline, you won't work towards it. So here's a good example. The beginning of this month, I was like, I wanted to recruit, right? Like that was my focus. And most of the time we're bringing in customers into a challenge group. I was really focused on the coaching opportunity this month. And so the whole month I was posting about my fitness. I was posting about my workouts. I was posting about the business, but I wasn't being strategic. I didn't have a date. The minute I said to myself, this is the day that I am starting my coach training, and then I started to say to myself, it's not if I get the people, I will get the people. Then I started to be more purposeful. I really noticed that I started to be on point with what I was saying. And so for you guys, pick a date. What's your date for your challenge group? So make it next Monday, make it May 6th, but you need people to purchase. And what's your last possible date? So if you're going to start a challenge group on the 6th of May, which is a Monday, that means that everybody will need to make their purchase by the 29th of April in order to have their product on time. So the 29th of May is the last possible date that people can order. Okay, so in your mind, it's the 29th, and you're going to do everything in your power over the next week to drive people to sign up by the 29th. You're going to create a sense of urgency. You're going to post about it every single day. You're going to share success stories. Like your goal, every time you post on social media, you're like, how is this helping me to get to that goal? All right, so that's the way as a business owner, you always have to be strategic. It's not about sort of like, oh, I need to post once today, and oh, I need to do these 7 to 10 Instagram stories because I got to check these boxes off. It's very intentional. So I want to just sort of challenge you to say to yourself every time you go to make a post, what's my purpose? Why am I putting this out there? How is it going to help other people? And I always ask myself, am I giving inspiration? Am I teaching something? Is it a call to action, or am I connecting with people? So those are sort of the things that I ask myself, right? And if it doesn't fit into that category, if I'm like, I'm just posting it to post, I don't do it. I just don't even put it out there. All right. So if I know that my group is going to start on Monday, May 6th, I know that the 29th is my last possible date. Let's back into this one more time. Now you're going to say, but I've never ran a group before. Well, what do I do? How do I know what to post in the group? We're not gonna worry about that right now, okay? Like we're not gonna overthink it. We have challenge group guides. I can show you where to find them, all right? You have so many resources. You can create a small little Facebook group yourself. It takes you 2 seconds to make a Facebook group. You can set up the challenge tracker app, and you can have 3 people in there. It doesn't have to be a group of 20 people, right? It can be small. You could team up with another coach. I don't want you to overcomplicate it, all right? But our goal is, this is the title of my group. Maybe it's like post Easter candy detox, or spring cleaning, or, getting something about getting ready for the summer, or, skinny jeans boot camp, or I don't know, whatever. You can come up with anything. It can be, just pick a name. Don't even overthink the name of what it's going to be. All right. So you got your date. You're not overthinking it. We know when the last possible date is. And then I just simply get out a sheet of paper, and I will say to myself, and here's my sheet of paper, what are all of the ways that I can talk about this challenge group? Okay. So number 1, I need to explain my challenge group, first of all. So I'm going to do that through a live video is what I'm going to do. And I know that you're probably like, what? You're making me make a live? I sure am, right? You're going to get on your Instagram, and you're going to click that little live button, right? And you're going to talk about it, and you're going to say, guys, did you totally overdo it over the Easter holiday, right? Did you have all of the things, and you're waking up this morning and you're like, enough is enough? Right now is the perfect time, because everybody's thinking about how they sort of overdid it over the holidays, right? So you're waking up today and you're like, enough is enough. Like, that's it. Like, I have less than 2 months until I got to put a bathing suit on. I've got a summer vacation planned in July, and I got to get a hold of myself. And so, that can be kind of your starter with people. And then you go into, if that is you, this is what I'm doing. I'm creating a safe place where I'm going to support people on their health and fitness journey. And it's called the spring cleaning, or spring boot camp, or whatever it's going to be. You give it a name, and you're going to say, I'm going to mentor 5 people. Say how many you're going to mentor. 3 people, 5 people. And it's going to start on May 6th. The last possible day is to get in there on the 29th. And then instead of talking about the Beachbody workouts, I want you to tell people what you're going to offer them, okay? So you're going to say, look, I'm a mom. I've been through this too, or whatever, whoever you are, right? I know what it's like to feel alone in this weight loss journey. I'm going to give you a community that you can plug into. I also know that some of the biggest obstacles to people reaching their health and fitness goals is meal planning, what to eat, how to eat healthy on a budget, how to find time for yourself, emotional eating, late night snacking, right? The weekends, handling trips and vacations and kids' activities. And I am going to be live in this group, or I'm going to be creating posts and content that are going to help you learn how to get through all of these things. So that would be where I would start. I would actually go live on whatever platform you use to build your business and talk about that. Okay. So that's number 1. Then that live video can be a post. All right. So you can kind of take what you talked about in that live video, and you can bullet point it out, and you can make a post about your spring group, and you can post that on your social media. So we can double, we don't have to create more content. We can use the same thing in 2 places. Then say to yourself, okay, I need to really get people to understand why these groups are amazing. So what are some of the things that helped you join a challenge group your first time? What were the things you saw? Was it my transformation story? Was it something motivational? Like, was it the meal plans? Was it a tutorial? So all of those things that sort of made you go, huh, I should do this. Now you're going to create that for your own page. All right. So make a list of all those things. And then you simply say to yourself, every day, I'm going to do one of those things. And that's going to be my content for the day. So that's kind of step number one. And again, don't overcomplicate it. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I need you to get out there. And then you've got to be able to say at the end, if you want to join, if this is something you're interested in, here's how you can find me. Go to the link in my bio, fill out my application, send me a direct message, drop a comment below. Like, tell people how you want them to get in contact with you. Okay, so that's step one. Step number two is you can't let the post work for you and think that people are going to come to you. I'm going to say it again. You can't make the post and think that people are going to come to you. You have to go and get them. Okay, so how do I do that? Number one, I make the post so that I can go through the likes and any comments and I can reach out to people. That's step number one. Does it always happen that way? Nope. A lot of times people don't comment, especially at the beginning. But I need to get that content out there because even if people aren't liking and commenting, I know that they're watching. I do know that for certain. The next thing is I need to make a list of all the people that I have ever talked to about losing weight or getting in shape. Or maybe at the dinner table last night, your cousin was like, I really need to get these 20 pounds off before summer. You're going to text your cousin, right? If your mom was like, I really need to do the 3-day refresh, you're going to message your mom. You're going to be like, Mom, you're buying a challenge pack today. Okay, here's how you're going to do that. Okay. If it's like your friends from, mom's group or your kids play sports together, you're going to start getting bold and reaching out to people. And you're not going to do it in a salesy way. How many of you saw the post that I did in my personally sponsored coach page where I talked about how not to spam your followers? Did you guys see that? So that video should sort of be your go-to, right? So it's like, send a message to your friends and say, hey, now that Easter's over, I feel like I totally blew it and I'm needing accountability. So I'm going to start this accountability group because this works well for me. And I'd really like to do it together with a few friends. And I know we've talked about this before. Do you want to do it? I'm thinking about starting it on the 6th of May. And I can give you all the details, but this is sort of what I'm thinking. Do you want to do this with me? Right? And so just start inviting people. Just simply start sharing. All right. So today, your job is to make that list of people. And then before you let yourself overthink it, you're going to send the message, whether it's a text message or a Facebook message or an Instagram message, get it out there. Okay. So we're going to work off of that warm market of people. And then what happened to me personally is my sister-in-law was one of the people that joined me first. And then she had a best friend that she was like, my best friend wants to do this too. So that got me 2 customers right away that just happened naturally. So I want you guys to think about, okay, how am I going to approach this in a way that is going to help me also bring in more people? All right. So that's kind of the next part. The thing after that is some of you have been coaches for a little while, and some of you have been kind of sort of inviting all month long, like kind of sort of putting yourself out there. So let's follow back up with everybody. We need to follow up with every person we've talked to for the whole month, because now the holiday's over, tax season is done. We've paid our taxes. So people they're ready. They're ready. Today's the day. People are ready to make a change. So I'm going to do this thing in my Instagram stories today that basically says, did you blow it over the weekend? Are you ready to get back on track? Do you need a post-Easter candy detox? If so, and I'm going to give 4 tips, here's 4 things you can do starting right now to get back on track. Drink your water, move your body for 30 minutes. It was do the 3-day refresh with me and join a support and accountability group. And then I'm going to do a poll option, yes or no, I want to do those things. And then I'm going to message people who answer those questions, right? So that's an invite, but then I'm going to follow up with everybody throughout the month that I talked to that hasn't said yes yet and say, hey, I know we talked before Easter. Now the holiday's over. You know, I know for me, I'm getting ready to launch my next group. I wanted to follow back up and see if you were still interested in doing this with me. Maybe now's a good time. And then reach back out. Simple, easy follow-up, okay? So that should, I don't want you to overthink it. Again, don't think, oh, maybe they don't want to do it. Oh, they haven't responded so far. Oh, I've sent 3 follow-ups. I still haven't heard anything. Follow up again. Just keep following up with people, okay? The next thing that I want to tell you is if you're trying to get 3 people to join you, you're going to have to, at minimum, talk to 30 people. 30 people. I saw your eyes, Glory, because you happen to be right in my line of view. I saw your eyes get real big. But if we take that, take 30 divided by 8. I don't math. Somebody math for me. What's 30 divided by 8? I don't know. How many people is that a day? 3? 3? No? 4. All right. So that's 4 people a day, maybe 5. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm going off of Jess's face over there. And I don't math at all. Don't. I use calculator. I openly admit it, not a strong point of mine at all, but think about that. 30 people over 8 days is only maybe 4 people. That's really not that big of a deal, right? So we look at that number and it freaks us out. But guys, you could literally, this could happen. So say to yourself, okay, today I'm going to do as many as I can. And I bet you have a handful of people you could reach out to. Then you're going to say to yourself, I'm going to do as many follow-ups as I can do today, right? And then you're going to say to yourself, I'm going to invite as many new people. I'm going to make some new connections. So go back to that Power Hour video that I did last Tuesday, or Jess did one on Friday, or Abby did one last Monday, and pull those videos and watch it and then do it and commit to it. I look at your calendar every day this week and say, it is my goal to get my product paid for. It is my goal to get another month in Success Club. It is my goal to earn $500 for our car payment this month, or I'm gonna pay all of our utilities, or I'm gonna pay for my kids' summer camp, right? Give yourself a goal that you're working towards, and then say, every day this week between the hours of X and X, I am going to do a power hour, and I'm going to focus on only the things that are going to build my business. And if I don't know the answer, I'm going to go into the coach training and find it. I am going to ask Melanie or somebody in the team, and I am going to get to the goal. There's no reason why you can't get there, right? But I just believe that we don't consistently show up with doing the right activities. And you all probably are like, yep, I can identify one area that I just need to work on a little bit more. And so today, I really want to unpack, where are the roadblocks that maybe you get stuck when you're having conversations? Where are you getting stuck in this process right now? Because we're going to keep it super simple. So I want you to think about that, and you can even start typing them in the comments, or you can unmute yourselves. But I'm going to do one more thing, and then we're going to have a discussion, okay? And you guys can fire lots of questions at me. So please give me some questions that you want me to answer about where you get stuck in that process, right? Where's your roadblocks right now? So the last thing is, let's talk about flash sales, and let's talk about upselling, because I think that's something that we don't talk about a lot. So share a cart. Who uses share a cart? Good. Okay. Who uses the 411 coach link generator? Anybody? All right. So with share a cart, we can upsell, right? Which I like. So one of the things that I started to do, and actually Jen Guthrie is who put this thought in the back of my mind. She goes, when she's building a cart for somebody, right, and they're getting ready to sign up, she always does, she'll add in things, she always adds Energize. She's like, look, I'm adding things to your cart. Here's Energize. This is my favorite pre-workout. She'll put the challenge pack in there, and she'll say, this is my favorite. I love this. I can't, this is my lifeline before my workout. And she'll say, you can take it out of the cart if you don't want it, but I love it. And then I was like, well, duh, add the 3-day refresh to everything. There's a sale on the refresh right now. So it's 10% off. And so every person's cart that I have been sending out, I've been adding 3-day refresh. If you want to kickstart your weight loss, if you want to break a plateau, if you want to just have a fresh start, this is on sale right now. It's 10% off. I added it to your cart with Energize because that's my favorite pre-workout. You can take it out if you don't want it, but this is just something that I would highly recommend you doing. So I started adding that in there, and I noticed that, oh my gosh, like how easy is that? I get commission on the 3-day refresh, and I get commission on Energize, and my income goes up a little bit more. The next thing is, as you get down to the last 5 days, so I would say on Friday, like Friday to Tuesday, if you're finding that people aren't pulling the trigger, I create my own sales. Okay, I do that because sometimes people just need a good deal before they're willing to make a purchase. So I will do things like I'll throw in a tub of Energize if you play, if your order is placed by Sunday at midnight. Okay, so I'll say, like, for the next 3 people that sign up for my accountability group, I'm going to give you my favorite product that helps me to jumpstart my morning workouts. But I only have 3 available, and I will go and directly message people. Also, gift cards work amazing, right? So I will say to people, if you, like, I'm incentivizing. So I'll say to people, like, look, I'm running a flash sale for the next 12 hours. Anybody that purchases their challenge pack before midnight tonight, not anybody, the next 3 people that purchase their challenge pack by midnight tonight will get a $20 Amazon gift card from me as a thank you for making your purchase. You can use it to kickstart your journey, buy yourself some new workout clothes or weights or a personal development book. And so I will include that gift card, and I will private message all of the people that I've invited all month long, all the people that have share carts that are out that haven't made their purchase. I will personally let them know that I'm offering an incentive if they purchase by midnight that night. And there's only 3. So if they want to take advantage of it, they got to let me know ASAP. So I do that, and that works so well. All right, so that works really well too. So that's something else to put in your back pocket. They get 20% off Energize with the purchase of a challenge pack. I tell them that I gave them a discount. That's smart too. So they're actually getting that discount when they add it in there too. So yes, yes, yes. So those are some of the things that I do. It's just smart marketing on your part, and knowing like what makes you pull the trigger as somebody that purchases products as well. So for me, if I know I'm getting a discount, I'm going to purchase. If I know that I'm getting discounted shipping, I'm going to order. I know if somebody's giving me a free gift, I'm going to order. So I'm very aware of that stuff. And I'm also aware when people are trying to hit a goal. So I'm going to give you an example. Like for those of you that have been around for a while, I have friends that are in other network marketing companies. And when they message me and they're like, hey, I know you were really interested in that skincare. There's a sale going on till the 30th of the month, and I'm trying to hit a big goal. I know you wanted it. Could you place your order before then? I'll do it right then and there for that person, because I know what it's like to be in network marketing, right? I know what it's like to have a goal to hit, and that person's already told me, like I've already told that person I was interested, so they're just circling back around and letting me know, could I place that order? Done. Not a big deal. So don't be afraid to say to like your friends, like, this is what I'm shooting for. Like, I'm going for a goal this month. Like and to put that out there to other people. All right. The other thing is, I'll give you another good example. So my brother, my brother and I were talking at Easter, and he was like, I need a new workout. I need something to do. And so I said to him, like, I'll set you up with an account. And he's like, I don't want to deal with all that. Can you just do it for me? And I was like, sure, I'll do it for you. Give me your credit card. And so I went in, I bought the challenge pack. I set him up with a customer account. He's getting it paid for, or he's paying for it. And I gave him my commission. I was like, I'll give you my commission if you order, because I will get 2 Success Club points for it. And so that was simple, easy, right? I did all the work for him. I got him set up. I showed him how to use it. I gave him my commission. I got 2 Success Club points. So there are times in the month where I will do things like that as well, so I can get the points. But also, I know that if my brother and his wife get good results, they're going to go to work and share it with other people. I know they have a social circle of people they talk to. I look at that as an investment in, I'm going to help them get results, so they go out there and sing my praises and direct more people to me, or I'm going to sign my brother up as coach. All right. So one of those 2 options are going to happen. Okay, so I think I've given you enough time to come up with some questions. So what questions do you have about your sticking points for getting people to sign up? What do you got?
I don't know if anyone will unmute, but I know one thing that a lot of people said on the Power Hour Friday was that it's not that they're getting stuck or they're getting no's, they're just getting ignored. And
Okay.
I told them they're not alone. Like, I feel like this has been the month of ghosting. So maybe like, how do you get a reaction? How do you get a conversation going? How do you get over that ghosting hump?
Yeah. So it's like a two-part thing. I go back and I say to myself, do I know this person? So if it was like a cold invite and I was just randomly messaging people, I know that the reason that I didn't get them to respond is because I wasn't building that relationship first. So I kind of do like a few steps back, and I will go and I'll go back and like their posts. I will comment on their stuff. So I'll create engagement is what I do. So that's sort of because I want them to know I'm there. So if somebody's ghosting you, you start loving on their stuff so that they're paying attention to you and they're seeing that you're there. Try to get a conversation through content, watch their stories, send them a direct message, right? And so that's one thing that I do is I kind of take a step back. The second thing is if I'm getting ghosted, I read my message. If I sounded like a salesperson, I apologize. And I will say like, I just read my message back to myself and I'm really sorry because I wouldn't even respond to my own message if I would have sent that. Like, if I would have gotten that message, I wouldn't have responded. I was just really excited about what I was doing and maybe I went a little overboard. I really apologize, So apologize. There's nothing wrong with that. If you've sent a link to somebody and they've ghosted you, like you followed up a few times and they still haven't responded, I will say to that person, I'm so sorry. Did I offend you? I just asked them. I'm like, I hope I didn't offend you. And that's it. And then automatically people are like, no, you didn't offend me at all. And then they'll go into their excuse and their reason why they didn't actually respond back. So that's the way that I handle that situation. And that works really, really well. Okay. So Jess, that answers the question? Okay. That's kind of what I do on the ghosting. What other things? Let me see. My biggest obstacle is when people ask me about the programs, I tell them it's Beachbody programs, they immediately don't want to talk anymore. So number one, when I'm talking to people and I tell them that it's Beachbody and they don't want to talk anymore, I always say like, did you have a bad experience before? Because I got to figure out why they don't want to talk anymore, right? So I'm just like, did you have a bad experience? Did you try it before and it didn't go well? Like, give me a little more information. I want to understand why. So ask that question, figure out what it is and what their reason is for automatically saying no. Jess, how did your brother not already have an account? My brother is the cheapest man alive. Cheapest man alive. I have bought him T25. My mom bought him P90X. I've given him bags of Shakeology. He is cheap. And he is a non-believer for a very long time until him and his wife have lost he lost like 25 pounds with T25. And so is his wife. And so at Easter, they were like, we're stuck at a plateau and we don't know what else to do. So this is the first time ever they've actually like both asked me for help. And I was like, oh my God, so excited. Yeah. So yes.
Give me your credit card. We'll do it now. I
was like, I'll do it. I'll do it right now. Yeah. So no, it worked out good. But no, I know, like he's just one of those people, that hasn't had it before. Many people say I don't do shakes or I don't want something monthly. So number one, I always ask people, why don't you want to do the shake? Have you tried it before? Like, tell me why. So your job is like, you're an investigator. I have to investigate every situation. Why is it that people don't want it? And if they don't want something monthly, fine. Just buy the challenge pack and cancel it, right? You can cancel, but why would you spend the extra shipping Why would you buy like all that shipping and handling? You might as well get it at the discounted price, because when you buy a challenge pack that way, then you're good to go, right? So that's what I would suggest, is like just like dig into it just a little bit more. But when people, so I lead a little bit differently too when I'm talking to people. So when I'm going through and I'm talking about a challenge group, right, I make sure that before I get to the point where I'm telling them what they need to buy, I make sure I know their needs first. So I'm like, what's working for you? What's not working for you? What are you super frustrated? Like, I don't rush the conversation. So I'm asking, like, what is it that you're struggling with? You know, and so I figure out, I'm like, okay, the accountability group is going to be so good for you. And I lead with how I'm going to help them, right? So I'm leading with like, we're going to give you a supportive community. I'm going to pick you a program that's going to lay out exactly what workout you're going to do. I'm going to help you with the meal plan. We're going to talk about easy, you know, nutrition ideas and snack ideas. And, you know, I have lots of tips for you on emotional eating, and I'll keep you accountable. And this is the tools that we're going to use, right? So you're going to get this Beachbody On Demand subscription. It's going to come with a month's supply of Shakeology, right? And then I say, and it's going to give you access to my support and accountability group. And I'm going to help you every step of the way. Here's your link to order. So I'm not leading with, you're going to buy Shakeology and it has over 70 plus superfoods, right? I'm not leading with all of the details of what they're buying. I'm leading with what I'm offering. So I don't know if that will help, but that's the way I do it, right? And when people say 106, when they tell them the price, they don't flinch because of all the value I'm adding. But the flip side of that too is when they see me on social media, they know, because I'm there, right? I'm there, I'm showing up, I'm talking about what I'm doing. So like your conversations and what you're putting on social are going to go hand in hand. That's really going to help build that trust factor. People are going to invest because they see you doing it too. So that's why your social is so important. It helps with that conversation piece too. All right. And then one thing that I also do with the Shakeology piece of it is I talk about how Shakeology improves my life from a convenience standpoint. So like I think about, you know, Jess, I think about, you know, you and I, we have kids that are busy and we're like on the go 24/7. And so a lot of times, like I will talk about my Shakeology as I'm like walking out the door to take the kids to baseball practices. And I'm like, there is no time in my day, right? Like I don't have time to like pee. So this, I can throw this in a blender in 30 seconds. We're out the door and I've got my shake and I can get my kids here. And the old Melanie would have gone through the drive-thru and got a really unhealthy meal. And so I talk about it that way. I come at it from a different angle of convenience. Now more so than ever, I'm talking about my health, you know, and not just weight loss. So I try to just always talk about that so that people understand. I say, if you have ever wanted to try it, now is the time. Yep. And explain what a crazy good deal the challenge pack is. Totally. Totally. What else? What other questions? Is it okay to do networking on LinkedIn? Absolutely. Treat LinkedIn just like you would treat any other social platform. You know, building the connections, building the relationships, for sure. You can do that. I will tell you, Marcy, that's not my personal strong suit, but absolutely, you could definitely, if you know LinkedIn, go for it. Absolutely go for it. What else? It's all about conversations, right? It's all about, and you will get comfortable the more conversations you have. So I found that at first it took me a really long time to answer questions on when people were, and I got really nervous about how to answer, like what is a challenge group, and to answer objections. But I just practiced, and I just kept forcing myself to be in that uncomfortable spot of like, oh, I don't know what to say, but I'm going to say this anyways. And I just worked through that. And because I let myself really be uncomfortable, and I forced myself to invite, like I forced myself. And when I say I forced myself, it was like, I would not let myself go to bed until I did it, because I knew that was what was going to build my business. And because I did that, I learned the right things and the wrong things to say. I also learned that because I had a lot of conversations, when I say it this way, I get a yes. And so then I began to create my own little sort of like snippets of what things were and how to say them. But it was only because I practiced a lot. So I do want you to understand that this all does, in fact, come with time and practice, and you're going to get better at it. And I look at in April, I've done a lot more invites than I do on a typical month, but I also know that no invite ever falls on deaf ears. I know that I'm creating a follower, I'm creating somebody that's interested in what I'm doing. And so I just want to say to you, like, plant the seeds and plant a lot of them, because they will grow if you keep showing up. Okay? All right. Is there anything else that you guys can think of that I did not cover that you want me to go over right now? Anything at all? You're good? Everybody's good? Is you can unmute. Everybody's muted, so if you needed to talk, you have to unmute.
How do I start over?
How do you start over? You pick your start date for your challenge group, you print out your business activity tracker, and you start posting on social media again. You literally just start from day one. You just go back in and you use the Coach Training University as a resource, and you just start over. You don't even re-announce that you don't say I'm a new coach. You just are like, post Easter candy, detox, this is what I'm doing, and you just go, and you just like leave everything from the past behind and you start fresh. And you don't overthink it. I think that, again, that overthinking, that stops you. And it's, like, keep it simple. I just say, keep it super simple. Pick your start date and invite. What's tripping you up in there?
I'm just scared to fail.
You're going to fail. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. People are going to ignore you. People are going to ghost you. Posts aren't going to do great. It's all right. It's okay. Failure is part of life. And the sooner that you just go, I got it, I'll figure it out, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. You certainly will fail. And because if you try to be perfect, you'll set yourself up for even more failure.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. It's a lot of heart work, I feel like coach, like personal development, whatever sort of like pumps you up. You should definitely like listen to some Audible books,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it's okay. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. You can't safeguard yourself in a little bubble.
I have a question, Melanie.
Sure, go ahead.
I noticed you post a lot of personal stuff about your life and your kids and your family, and you really give an insight of, your struggles and your successes and your past of marriage and et cetera, all the topics of what makes you you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can't do that. Like, I just feel like I don't want people to know so much about me. You know what I mean? Like, and so that I'm frozen by that because I really want to be as successful as you are.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm completely petrified of just putting my whole life out there.
Okay. So what do you want people to know about you?
Just like little snippets here and there, like I'm on vacation here. I usually post sweaty selfies and stuff like that, or I'm doing a workout, but it's like not to the extent at all of what you post.
Well, and you have to remember too, I've been on this journey for 7.5 years, so you can't compare your start to where I'm at right now because it's been a process, right? So you have to say like, okay, she's in a different place right now than I am, but what can I share? Right? Because your coaching business shouldn't look exactly like mine. And so, what do I want? What makes me unique and different is really what you want to ask yourself, right? So why, think about like, what about this coaching journey really is unique and special to me? what are some of the challenges that I'm facing right now and how am I overcoming them, and so that should be what you're talking about right now. So what
Okay.
are the challenges that you are facing right now?
I'm about to turn 40 in a year, well, 6 months or 7 months. I don't even January.
Okay.
And trying to keep up with how my body's changing, because I noticed I put on a lot of weight, and so that's one thing, just like the turn of a
Mhm.
new decade.
Okay.
Um,
So
and
can you talk about that?
yeah, I guess I'll bring that up in my posts and stuff.
I think that relates to women that are about to turn that age. I know I talk about the fact that my body doesn't lose weight the same way that it did anymore. And that's a connection piece. You're connecting to women, right? When you're talking about that, and maybe it's like the countdown to 40, like you're like this is me living my best life. Right. And so when you're doing your content, it's like, you're talking about what's important to you and why you're getting stronger and how you're figuring out how your body works. And like, I feel like that's a struggle that you could talk about.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And then do the same thing with all the other like areas of your life too, right? Like even just sharing things about your family and, your kids and the challenges you're going through, parenting or working or whatever it may be, just like showing life kind of how it happens.
Okay.
All right. What else? I feel like somebody else might have been unmuted and had something to say. Marcy, maybe? There we go.
Okay, so I had 3 people sign up with me and 2 have already canceled.
Okay.
What do you do? How do I start over? I mean, I don't even know how to keep people.
Well, number one, people are going to come and go. That might not necessarily be anything you did personally, but of course we always take that personal when somebody quits or cancels. So I always say to myself, first of all, ask the person, why did you cancel? Because you don't want to make assumptions of why somebody canceled. So have you asked those 2 people why they didn't continue?
I did.
You did?
One is her back problems, and she couldn't find exercises that were suitable to her. And then the other one was, I just can't afford it each month.
Okay. So both of those are out of your control, right? You can't, if somebody has back problems and they can't find a workout for them, you can't do anything. But what you can do is you can say, you know what? We could still focus on nutrition because 80% of your results come from the food that you eat. So, maybe you walk in the neighborhood, maybe you do your physical therapy stretches that you've been given by your doctor, and we just focus on nutrition. What if we just do Ultimate Portion Fix or Mindset together? That might be a way to keep that person in. The second person that said it was too expensive, I would say to that person, well, here's a couple of options. Were they a coach or were they a customer?
She signed up as a coach for the discount.
Okay. So I just say to those people, well, do you know anybody that would want to do this with you? Because if you get 3 people that can be your customers, we can put them in my challenge group that I'm already running. And then, we can do that together and you can get your product paid for. So that's the way I would look at those people. And just, it doesn't hurt to at least put that out there. And if they still want to cancel, no big deal, right? And I always leave on a good term. Like, I'm always here to help you. If you change your mind, if you want to come back, the door is always open, right? So now you say to yourself, some will, some won't. Like, people are going to come and go. I need to move on, right? So I would say the life cycle of a typical customer is like 3 to 4 months. That's a typical life cycle. I have people that come in and out in the same month. I have people that return their stinking challenge pack, right? Like, it doesn't matter how awesome you are or how long you've been doing this. People are weird, right? Like people are really strange and they do really strange things and it has nothing to do with you. So Marcy, just remember that in the process that like a little bit of like thick skin sort of has to happen when you're going through, you know, this process.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So choose your next challenge group and let's get 3 new people. That's what we're going to do. All right. Jill, I'm 49 today and the struggle is real with the weight gain. Nutrition is huge as we get older. It is. What do you do if you're talking with someone about programs, nutrition, and within a few weeks or so you see they sign up at a gym? If I'm talking to them about nutrition and fitness in a few weeks, you know, you could just message them and be like, hey, I saw you joined a gym. I'm so excited for you. Let me know if I can help you in any way on the nutrition front. I'm always here to help, you know, and, you know, I just like leave that door open because I can get them in on nutrition, right? Like I can bring them in with 2B mindset or portion fix. So that's typically what I do. And I can still sell them a challenge pack. You're welcome. All right. So I always say to myself, what's the bright side of everything that I'm doing? I always look for the positive, and I always say, I'm going to leave the door open for future purchases. That's the way I look at it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to get super clear on what our game plan is for the week. We're going to sit down, we're going to make a list of what we're going to post about, and we're going to get out our business activity tracker, and we are going to make it happen. All right. I know you can do it. I've done crazy things in the last week of my business too, when people were silent. And I just know that like there is something about being laser focused, you know, on where you want to be that'll help you get there. Okay. All right. Don't be afraid to reach out. Facebook Messenger is probably the best way to get a hold of me on my personal page. If you need something, I will share this recording. And then also, just because you guys are still here right now, I am going to post in the comments 2 things. How not to spam your people. This is number 1. This is inviting, right? And then the second thing that I'm sharing with you is that recording, that Power Hour recording from last week in the comments. So I want you guys to take those 2 YouTube links and use those as resources throughout the week. Okay? All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful Monday. Go crush it, and I will see you guys back here next week. Okay? Bye, guys.